Hi everyone, in today's video I'm finally making over my sewing room and giving you a tour. I was inspired to do this makeover because I took this organization quiz on clutterbug.me and learned I was a butterfly. A butterfly is a very visual person and likes to see all their belongings for fear of out of sight, out of mind. You are probably a butterfly if you have clothing on top of your dresser and on the floor, but your closet and drawers are practically empty. I highly recommend everyone take this quiz because learning this changed my life, because in the past I would do everything the opposite of a butterfly and it just was not working for me. Now that I know the organization methods that are going to work for me as a butterfly, I am extremely excited to make over my sewing room. Thanks to my patrons on Patreon, I finally saved up enough money on there to do something like this. So if you've ever supported me on Patreon before, this makeover is possible thanks to you. I hope you enjoy watching this video and let the makeover begin. This is the reality of my sewing room. We gotta get everything off the floor and get rid of these drawers that don't do anything for me. I have piles of untouched fabric, so I thought hanging them individually on hangers would be nice, but once they were all up, it took up a lot of space in the closet. I decided to get pants hangers instead, and it made a major difference. So on the quiz, it says that clear bins are helpful for butterflies, labels, hooks, open shelving works for butterflies, take advantage of vertical space and get stuff off your floor. My fashion class had one of these tall toolboxes with drawers, which I was thinking would be nice for me, but then I kept seeing these metal drawers on Pinterest that were clear and shallow, so I was set on finding something similar. A lot of people told me to check out the Container Store, so I did. And they had this craft display that I fell in love with, except it was super expensive, so I had to go home and think it over first. 2 weeks later, we went back to the Container Store and oh my gosh, it was meant to be because they were getting rid of the display after 2 years and selling the whole thing for 50% off. So of course I had to get it. Now the makeover can officially begin. We started by moving almost everything out from the room. We mainly wanted to clear the wall on the left side because I wanted to paint it a different color so that the craft organizer could pop out more. I decided on painting a geometric design because it seemed really easy to do. I wanted 2 different shades of pink, so to prepare myself, I first drew out my geometric pattern on Photoshop so I can visually see where I wanted the colors to go. First, I painted the wall white with primer, and this way the lines will be white when I peel off the tape. This was the design I decided to go with, and I just did my best to replicate it onto the wall using 1-inch blue masking tape. You'll definitely need another person to help you stretch the tape out so it's straight. Once everything was taped, I followed my design and painted all the darker pink spots first. Then I painted the lighter pink shade next. The next day, after everything was dried, I took off the tape and was very satisfied and happy with how it turned out. Now we can finally install my craft organizer. By the way, this isn't just for crafts. This display is used for custom closets as well, and it's really easy to set up. I only needed my husband's help to install the bar across the top, and the rest you just hang onto that bar. The hardest part was figuring out the level of everything, like where's the table going to be and how much space do I need for the drawers. But overall, it wasn't too bad. It did take some time though. The other side of the room was looking too plain now, so I decided to paint my sewing table blue with clouds all over. It was going great until I stepped on one of my sewing pins. Tell me why when my room was a mess, I never once stepped on a pin. But after we cleaned it, I finally stepped on one and it freaking hurt so bad. Lesson learned, always wear slippers in the sewing room now. This was pretty much the last thing I had to do. Now I just have to clean up and bring everything back in. Are you ready to see my sewing room? Alright, come on in. I'm gonna give you a tour of my new sewing room. So first off, over here we took off my closet doors and I bought these awesome pants hangers to display my fabric. I did store some of my fabric in tubs though on my display up there, which I'll show you later, but those are fabric that I'm probably not going to touch for a while, or they're super heavy. Like I have a lot of it, so it probably would be too bulky to fit onto the hanger. But yeah, it looks like I still have a ton of space to make use of up here, so I'm thinking of getting more clear tubs to put up here for in the future when I have a lot more scrap fabric. I could store them up there. Moving on, my mannequins, they kind of just go wherever. They're on wheels, so I kind of just put her over here to stay out of the way. And then this area right here is perfect. It's just the perfect space for my ironing board. I have my iron here, my little ham. I do feel like something's missing here. I was thinking about ordering myself a neon sign that says Coolirpa to put it up here, but we'll see. I really love how this geometric pink wall turned out. So even if nothing is there, I feel like the geometric pattern does enough already. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, my new organization system that I got from the Container Store. I knew I had to get a pegboard, so this is awesome for all of my tools to be displayed and hang up, so I know exactly where they are. I have my markers here. In this little bin, I put my bias tape. And these trays are awesome. You can move them anywhere you want to. I have some glue sticks in this one. I have my hot glue gun. This is a little embroidery art my sister made for me. I just hung up some belt earrings there because it's super cute. You can hang your tape here. I have 3 of these circle clips that you can put your scissors through. And here I have my tapes hanging. These are tapes that I use for draping so I can create the design on my dress form. And just some blue tape. And up on top I have clear tubs, which is another good thing for butterflies because we like to visually see what we have and not forget about them. And I'm super excited about the shelving space because I can display all of my fashion books. This is my draping book, a sewing book. It's a photo guide, so they have really clear photos if anyone is interested. And this is my pattern making book, which I mainly use for the circle skirt chart and sometimes to reference what patterns look like. If you are going to get these big books, I recommend getting hardcover because this is getting flimsy and it doesn't really stand up well on here. On my table, I have my favorite books from Fashionary. This is just so cute. This one is a bag design. This is Textilepedia. And this one is shoe design. Fashionary is actually the sponsor for today's video. They have a ton of awesome fashion books. I think Textilepedia is one of my favorites though, because I took a textiles class in college, but I really wish that this book existed back then so I can just reference everything I need to. Definitely order some books from Fashionary to complete your fashion and sewing room. I even have a coupon code for 10% off that I'll put down in my description box. There's just so much that you can use this display for. I think even after putting all of my things into the drawers, I still have some space left over that I don't know what to put in there, which I'm probably gonna figure out later. In this first drawer, I just put my rulers and tape measure, and I also put my loop turner in here since everything in this drawer is meant to lay flat. The next top drawer, I have my markers, all my Sharpies, pencils, pens, erasers, and then I have my fabric markers. I have my soap bar. I have my tapes in here and additional tapes in the back. I think the most difficult part about organizing all your craft supplies is figuring out where all the little things should go and which items should be grouped together. And I think I'm still figuring that out, so it might be a little random. In the second drawer, I have my cutting tools. So my rotary cutters, little thread snippers, and my seam rippers and other tools for pattern making are in here. On this side, I have all my elastic. This is cool. These drawers, I bought this part. It didn't come with it, but it's a drawer divider and I just put it in and it's really useful. I think for these stuff, it's a bunch of little things that need their own little bins, so that's why I have it like that. But I like this drawer divider thing. On this side I have elastic, and then on this side I have my horsehair braid, Velcro, some ribbon trim. Next, in this one, I have a lot more bins because it's a bunch of little items like extra large eyelets, some wire, some beads and jewels, safety pins, and some applique. And then in this drawer, I have all my zippers. I don't know if I'm just going to keep it as zippers only, but for now it works because I could just throw them all in here. It's all zippers, so I don't really have to organize it that much, but there's a lot more space if I did want to share this drawer with something else. In this drawer, I have all of my like sewing machine stuff. So presser foots, this is a ruffling foot, some things for my sergers. These are all my sewing needles and just accessories that come with your sewing machine. In this drawer, I kind of just put the leftover bins because I have a lot of them left, but I did want to use this drawer for my sewing manuals, so they are in here. My sewing manuals have always just been stuck in the box, so whenever I need them, I can never really access them. So I'm really happy that these drawers, oh, my bad. I'm really happy that these drawers are very shallow, and then I can just lay all my manuals in here in the future once I figure out what to do with these extra bins. And then in the bigger drawers, I have other craft supplies like pom-poms, my glue sticks, some rope, some more thread and pom-poms, and some more trim. In this one, I kind of have a lot of space in this one. I just threw in some stuffing, some shoulder pads, and some stabilizing stuff. And then at the bottom, I'm really happy about this drawer too because all my books go in here. So these are my books from Fashionary, my books from college. This was a book I got that I was featured in because it's a sewing YouTube book. So they sent me one of this. Let me see if I can find it. Wow, these videos are so old. My Peter Pan collar dress and easy off the shoulder top. So in this last drawer is where I keep all my patterns, and I just throw them into Ziploc bags so I can see through them and label them. And a bunch of these are just, you know, from past projects on my YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it for this organization system. The carpet I have here has colorful buttons all over it. I love it. It moves around a lot though, so I don't know if I should tape it down or Velcro it down or something, but it's really nice. It adds a fun pop of color to this room. Over here, I have my pattern making paper. I'll put the link to everything I mentioned down in my description box for those who are interested. But the stand for these rolls of paper is freaking expensive, so I didn't buy it. Instead, I just lean it against the wall, and whenever I need it, I just roll out some, and then I cut down with my scissors. On this side of the room, we moved my filming station over here. This is where we get the overhead shots for my videos. The camera is up here, and this is the little system that my husband figured out for me a while back that we've been doing for years now. I think we kind of want to upgrade it because we don't really like how the tripods kind of take up a lot of space, but it works. On top, we kind of just clamp these lights on. So there's more light. I have a light here, and then I also have one more here. On top, I have my rotary cutting mat, and around the room, I just have pin magnets everywhere. So I have one here, I have one here, and there's one by my sewing table. And underneath this table, I have 3 different bins, one for just trash, one for scrap fabric, and then one for recycle. Yeah, moving on to my sewing area. I shared this on my Instagram story, but I finally got one of these bobbin organizers. I don't know how well it's going to work once I actually do start, you know, using it more, but it's pretty clean looking now. I tried putting it on here before, but the thread just unravels and it gets really messy. So this looks like it's holding it in place really well for now. So I'll update you guys on if it continues to do well. I have another sewing magnet here. To fill up the space on the walls, I put up 2 of these spool racks and organized them by the colors of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And I have black and white threads on there. And in the middle is a canvas art that says, "Live your dreams," which I feel like really matches the table. Alright, that's the end of my sewing room makeover tour. I wanted to give a big shout out to my patrons on Patreon for making this transformation possible, and shout out to today's sponsor, Fashionary, for also making today's video possible. I hope you enjoyed watching. As usual, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!